Hi lovelies, I'm Cynthia and you're welcome back to the channel. So on today's tutorial, I'm going to be making this white leg palazzo pant that you see me putting on right here. So this tutorial is totally beginner friendly. So if you're interested in learning how to make this, just keep watching this video to the end. And please, if it's your first time you are coming across my channel or my video and you have not yet subscribed, please do well and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. So guys, the first thing we are going to be doing is to draft our trouser on our pattern paper. So this is the pattern paper we're going to be working with, and the length of this pattern paper is 42 inches. So this 42 inches will be the full length of our pants. We are going to be using it as the full length of our pants. Now for the amount of fabric that you'll be needing 3 yards of any crepe fabric of your choice, be it crepe or African print fabric that you want to use and make this particular pant. You'll be needing just 3 yards of it. Now for the first thing we are going to be doing on this our pattern paper, from the center of this our pattern paper, you'll be coming in by 4 inches. So from that center part, come in by 4 inches, as you see me doing. This particular pant we are drafting right here, this pattern paper, we are going to be using it for both the front and the back. So that is why from that part, I will advise you come in by 4 inches. Then you go ahead and connect the dots like this. Now the next thing for you to do is to determine your crotch depth. So for you to determine your crotch depth, you go ahead and divide your hip by 4. Whatever you have, you go ahead and add 2.5 inches to it. So I've done that, and now it's for me to mark my crotch depth. If you see, I put up my tape and I minus 1.5 inches for my waistband, as you can see me doing. Now I went ahead to mark what I have at that point after dividing my hip by 4, and I add 2.5 inches to it. So what I'm marking right now is 13 inches for my crotch depth. That is for my seat. Now after getting my crotch depth, I'll be going up by 2.5 inches. So after getting your crotch depth, from there your crotch depth, go up by 2.5 inches for your hip. So this one I'm going up right now is my hip line. Then I'll go ahead and draw it out as well. Now on that my crotch depth line, I will go ahead and label C and H for the hip. Now at this my crotch depth line, I will go ahead and divide my hip right now. So whatever my hip is, you will go ahead and insert it there. But if you want this pant to be somehow free at your butt, go ahead and add extra 1 inch to it, depending on how free you want it to be. So after dividing my hip, I add 1 inches to it because I want mine not to be fitted at that part. I want it to be somehow loose. So the same thing I mark at my crotch line, I went ahead and transfer it on my hip line, and I connect the lines together. Now at this waistline, if you are going to be using elastic waistband, go ahead and insert the same thing that you insert on your hip line on your waist. But for me, I'll be using zip. So I'll be dividing my waist circumference by 4. If you're going to be using zip, go ahead and divide your waist circumference by 4 and insert it there and connect it to the hip with your crotch, with your French curve. Now I'll go ahead and measure what I have at that my crotch line, and I'll go ahead and insert it to the full length of my pattern paper. So whatever you have at that your crotch line, go ahead and insert it to the full length of your pattern paper, and make sure you draw out the straight lines. So I'm just connecting the dots together. Now for our front crotch extension, guys listen, front crotch extension, from that line I'll be going now by 2 inches, and I'll mark it to the full length of my trouser. So that line that I marked 4 inches before, that I went in by 4 inches, I'll divide it by 2. Now I'll be marking half of it for my front crotch extension. Hear what I say, crotch extension. So I went out by 2 inches to form my crotch extension. Now at that crotch line, I'll be placing my tape like this, and I'll be going up by 1 inches, and then I'll be using my cuff ruler to draw out the cuff like this. So this is what it's looking like. Now this pattern paper, we are going to be using it to cut both the front and the back. Now the second thing we are going to be doing, because we'll be doing splash and spread, go ahead and measure from that your front crotch extension, that place you see my tape right now, the front crotch extension, measure it to the part that your hip ends, and go ahead and get the midpoint. Fold your tape into two and mark the midpoint. I hope you got what I'm trying to explain. Now that midpoint, I'll go ahead and measure it like this, because I'm going to be inserting what I have there to the full length of my pattern paper, also at the waist. I want to get the midpoint of that part. So when I measure it, what I had was 4.5 inches. So I went ahead and marked 4.5 inches all through from that center line. You can see. So we'll just get the center line, because we are going to be needing this for our splash and spread when we want to cut through that line. Now go ahead and measure here. This part to be for our front trouser, and this part to be for our back pants. You can see how I just do it. So I'll first and cut out this pattern paper. So I'll just go ahead and cut out the what I have. Just watch carefully to see the lines that I cut through, please. Watch carefully so you can see the lines that I cut, so that you won't make mistake. Just see what I'm doing and do the same thing for yours. And I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to explain here. So this is what it should looks like. So the first thing you're going to be doing, at your waist part, come down by 0.5 inches for the front. So when I come down by 0.5 inches for the front, I'm not going to be cutting it out, because this pattern paper we are going to be using to cut the back and the front. And you know, in every trouser, the back is bigger than the front. So after cutting the front, after cutting the back, I mean to say, I'll go ahead and fold in that waist part like this, and I'll be folding in that excess and cut out the front. So guys, I've go ahead to fold my fabric into two, as you can see. I fold my fabric into two, as you can see. Now the full length of this my pants, I'm just trying to remeasure that full length of the pattern paper that I have initially. So this is it. The full length of this pant is 42. So, and I minus my 1.5 inch for my waistband. Now that center line that we have, now this is why we have that line, because of the splash and spread that we'll be doing. So because of the splash and spread, go ahead and cut through that line to the top of your pant, to the pattern paper. And please do not cut through. Do not cut through. Just try as much as you can so that you won't cut through the pattern paper. But cut it in such a way that it will allow you to spread it when you are trying to do your splash and spread. So this is me just pinning it down. So the next thing I will go ahead and do right now is to open it up. So with this method, you are given the opportunity to determine how wide you want your palazzo pant to be, how wide you want the leg to be. But if you use the circular method, you cannot determine it. But with this one, you determine. So I'll go ahead and measure how wide I want it to be. So I'm adding extra 8 inches. So what I add for this, my wideness of my palazzo pant, is extra 8 inches. Now I'll go ahead and add 2 inches for the folding allowance, like the hemming allowance, because I didn't do that on my pattern paper. So I'll just go ahead and use my tape and add 2 inches for the folding at the full length of my pant. So that's what I did with my chalk and my tape, and I'll just go ahead and connect it together. So this is actually all for this cutting. So the one we are cutting right now is the back piece. So we cut the back piece first, and after cutting the back piece, we'll go ahead and do some adjustment on that pattern paper before cutting the front. And if you notice, now at this back piece, I add sewing allowance at the sides. Like at the waist part, I add 1 inch because I didn't add that while cutting on this pattern paper. And if I did not do that, you found that when sewing this particular pant, our waist might be short. Now at that upper hip part, just go up by 1.5 inches. Go up by 1.5 inches at the center hip part. Please do not forget to go up by 1.5 inches and cut it out. You can see what mine is looking like. So guys, I'll go ahead and remove this pattern paper and fold my fabric again into two so that we can do some adjustment on the pattern paper and cut the front piece. Now we are going to be cutting the front piece. Just watch carefully so you can learn. Now the adjustment we are going to be doing now is on that waist part. That half inches that went down by, as you can see, that half inches, you go ahead and fold it in like this. Then after folding it, you can go ahead and pin it down. Now that part that will mark the back, you are meant to cut it out, but because I'm going to be using this pattern paper again to cut another part, I don't just want to waste this my pattern paper. I'll just go ahead and fold it in like this. You can see what I did. Just fold it in. Fold that part, that extra that you added for the back piece, fold it in. You can see I fold my, you can see just the part that is for the front. But if you're not going to be using your pattern paper again, you can go ahead and cut it out and also cut down that waist part. Then you make sure that when you splash, when you spread your pattern paper, you're also having 8 inches in between. So the same inches that you get for the back, maintain it at the front as well when you spread it. So this is what it's looking like. So I'm having 8 inches. Now I'll also go ahead and add 2 inches for the hemming allowance. That same 2 inches that I add for the back, I'll go ahead and add it also for the front like this. Now I'll just go ahead and connect it up and I'll cut it out. So I'm just cutting out. Then I'll also add sewing allowance at that side of the waist as well so that I can use it to join my waist part. So I'll just add 1 inch for that. Just watch as I cut. So guys, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please, I'm begging you, subscribe to this channel so that you won't miss on any tutorial, you won't miss on anything at all. So guys, we are done cutting the pants and this is what it looks like. Now is the part to sew. We are about to start sewing this pants. So the sewing part is very simple. The sewing part is very simple. So this is what it's looking like. So why I didn't add sewing allowance for the zipper allowance for the back is because I will be putting my zip at the side. So I didn't want to put my zip at that center back. So that was why I didn't add my zipper allowance there. So I'll just be using the 1 inches I'll be using to close the side as also my zipper allowance. Now the first thing we are going to be doing for the front. So we'll be starting with the front piece. So the first thing I want to do is to put my pocket. So it's to put my pocket. So I've already cut out a piece of fabric like this. I didn't really measure this, but this should, yours should be for 12 by 12. That is 12 in width and 12 in length. So I just cut out a pieces that was remaining. I want to use it for my pocket. So what I'll go ahead and do it, I'll be placing front side facing each other of the two piece. Then I'll place it like this and I'll bring my front piece. I will align it. So I want to cut out that shape that the sides have. So I want to cut out the shape that the side have. Now I'll go ahead and turn it over again. Now I'll place my front this time around. Now I'll be cutting out the shape of the pocket. So the first thing I cut was the shape of the trouser because that part that I cut now will be replacing this side after putting the pocket. So I'll be coming down by 7 inches. Then the width of my pocket will be 1 inches. I don't want it to be wide. I want it very tiny as possible. Then I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So the length of my pocket is 7 inches. The width is 1 inches. So by the time I will sew it, it will be 1.5. So I'll be using one to close the pants and I'll be having half inches remaining to put my hand through. So the next thing you're going to do, you open up your front piece, you bring those pockets, placing right side facing each other. Just go ahead and place the right side facing each other like this. Then you'll be sewing it. So I'll go ahead and do it and bring it back. So this is what it should looks like after sewing it. So you have sewn it to the front part. So the next thing now is for you to go ahead and close the pocket. So guys, if you didn't catch up with this, I have a detailed tutorial on how to fix your front pocket like this. So the next thing I'll just do, go ahead and close it towards the right side. Then you'll be bringing it out, and that is all. So just go ahead and close everything, close it like this and bring it back. So guys, this is what our pocket is looking like. So after closing it, you should go ahead and hold it down at the waist part and also measure that allowance that you gave initially. So the next thing, after, if when you are done with your pocket, the next thing you are going to be doing is to join the crotch part. So you'll be doing this for both the front and the back. So I'm done joining the crotch of the front piece and also the front of the back piece. I've done that. Then the next thing we are going to be doing right now is to place the front and the back, front side facing each other like this. Front side facing each other. Yes. So once we are done closing the sides, you can see we have closed the side, front side facing each other. The next thing we are going to be doing is to close the center parts and the remaining part of the crotch. So just go ahead and align your center part, align it very well, and go ahead and close it up. So guys, I'm done closing that part as well. You can see what it's looking like. I'm just trying to show you guys. You can see what it's looking like. So I'll go ahead and bring the front piece, bring out the front part so you guys can see. So this is what it's looking like. Now the next thing for us to do is to insert our waistband before we talk about our zip. So I'll go ahead and open one side of this my waist. Open the side that you want your zip to be at. Just go ahead and open it up to almost 7 inches long. So when you are done opening it up, you will now go ahead and retake your waist measurement. But before then, I hope you have measured the round of your waist to be sure of what your waist is. So for my waist is 30. 30 plus 2 inches for sewing allowance should be 32. So what I have there is 32 in total. 32 in total. So that should be the length of my waistband. So the wideness of my waistband when I open it is 5 inches. But when I fold it, I'm having 2.5 inches. Now for the length, I'll go ahead and measure it. So what I'm having is more than 20, more than 32, I mean to say. So I'll go ahead and cut out the excess first. So I'll just go ahead and cut out the excess first. So once I was done cutting out the excess, I'll go ahead and fold the waistband like this, making sure that the two edge meet each other because I need to trim that upper part of my waistband. So I'll be going in by 0.5 inches at that upper part. At that upper part, going in by 0.5 inches. I'll just go ahead and slant it into that down part that will be entering the waist. So that when I'm done putting this pocket, this waistband, it won't gape. It will just sit perfectly in my waist. So guys, what I'll go ahead and do right now is to put my waistband round my waist. So that is just all. So guys, I'm done putting the waistband. As you can see, I'm done putting the waistband. So the next thing for you to do is to go ahead and insert your zip. So the color of the zip I have right now is black. So later on, I think I'm going to be changing that zip, but we are going to be using black for this tutorial purpose. So guys, you can see I use invisible zip. You can hardly notice it as well, but you can see what our pant is looking. And I also went ahead and hemmed the down of the pant. I can see how